Hi everybody! We are serving new blends with the most creative minds in design and architecture. So let's find out what this episode has in store for us. Your ICED Macchiatos is serving.
Born in Transylvania in 1948, he grew up in Jerusalem. A fundamental stopover in Milan, where he graduated from the Polytechnic University, the journey to New York, where he founded his studio in 1978. These, in short, are the stages of the journey of Adam Tihany, a designer specialized in turnkey projects, one of the most authoritative voices in the field of restaurant, hotel, and cruise design. Adam Tihany, as an architect, is a son of many adoptions and consequently different cultures. The result is a professional who works on projects with a complete vision, taking care not only of the interiors, but also, when possible, of the details that revolve around a restaurant or a hotel. And that's what happened in 1981 with La Coupole in New York, his first important project, which brought him to the attention of the design world. From restaurants to hotels, where his creations are countless, in collaboration with the major brands of high-end hospitality, Mandarin, Four Seasons, One and Only, and dozens of independent structures. In product design, Adam Tihany has also created objects and furnishings of great charm. Among them, the Stanley chair for Poltrona Frau, and a special glass for Martini, which has become a precious and rare limited edition. Since 2019, Adam Tihany has been the creative director of Seabourn, the luxury brand of the Carnival Cruise Company.
An international ICED Macchiato today with Adam Tihany and Alessia Genova. Hi.
Hi.
Ciao Paolo.
From Transylvania to New York via Jerusalem and from Biella to New York again. Do you have any return ticket?
Well, I'm not going back to Transylvania, I can tell you that much. Well, I've been, I'm the typical wandering Jew, so I've been traveling since then. So, I immigrated to Israel as a child. I grew up in Jerusalem. I went to study in Italy, in Milano, in the mid-60s, late 60s, gli anni, come si dice, un po' rovescenti, or un po' lenti, no? 68, 69. And then I came to New York in 1974, 75, started my business in 78. So it's a long journey. But since then, we have been traveling all the time. Our projects are truly international. They range from China to the Middle East, to Europe, to, back in the United States. So, before this particular moment, I used to be on an airplane almost every week and a half. But are we going back? The question is a little bit loaded. I mean, I am European by nature, by education and by temperament. So we have finally, like 5 years ago, we bought a little place in Paris. So I spend as much time as I can in Europe. And Italy is definitively a second home for me. So to answer your question, we have an open ticket. It's not a return ticket.
Anytime ticket.
It's an open ticket that keeps going and going and going. I got a letter from American Express yesterday saying, why didn't you travel for the next 3 months? But here's Alessia, I'm sure, has another take on the subject.
Well, as Adam, I think I have an open ticket as well, in the sense that I'm not sure if I'm ready to go back to Biella right now. And also, I didn't jump from Biella to New York, would be probably a shock. I did some stopover in between, Milano, in Rome, I actually study in Paris as well and Glasgow, so before to really land in New York. So it's kind of like a soft landing from Biella. And obviously, Italy is Italy for me as a very special place. So for now, New York is home. But, I'm glad to always go back again to Milano or Italy, anywhere. So I don't know, maybe Adam got a place in Paris. I wouldn't mind to have like a foot in New York and a foot in Milano. So we'll see. But New York is definitely home for now, and that's been for 10 years now. So is the place where I feel like comfortable to be, and as long as I can travel.
In 1967, a film of an Italian in America talks about the American dream, and I want to know, what do you remember of your long transition period from Italy to US? Adam.
Well, to be honest, I remember every moment, because it was a real learning experience. As I mentioned earlier, I studied in Milano at the Politecnico in the late 60s. And, universities were pretty much, destroyed. And in order to survive, you had to work. You had to be an apprentice. You have to, learn the profession the old-fashioned way, like the Renaissance style, So I found a job and I was working in the studio, and it was the period where the Italian design was just born. It was just becoming what it is today. There was really no work in architecture, and there was no money. The country was poor and depressed a little bit. So the designers and architects were involved with everything that they could do, put their hands on. Projects, interiors, allestimenti, furniture design, graphic design, packaging. So I learned the profession. For me, if people ask me, what do? I said, I design. And they said, what does that mean, design? Well, you give me a problem, I give you a solution. Now, that didn't work very well in the United States when I got here. People were terrified of the factotum. I said, for me, design is a problem to solve. It's not a profession. But I learned very quickly that in America, you had to specialize. You had to have especially people who say, what do you mean you do everything? Are you an interior designer? Are you a graphic designer? Are you a product designer? Are you set design? I said, I do all of the above. I'm an architect, I do. So, I starved for many years. I just people would not trust you because you did not have a definition. And I refused. I said, I want to be Italian. I want to do everything. And I kept fighting this against the tide. And until the day that I discovered restaurant design, I didn't realize what I was going to call myself. In 1980, I was asked to design a restaurant. I had no idea. I mean, I would love to do anything, it's not, I was starving, So it was the first Grand Café in New York City. 1980 was a version of La Coupole from Paris. And I was given the charge to do everything because the owner was very hands-off. So I went to France, I studied, I did this, I took pictures, I met the manufacturer. I came back to New York and I designed this amazing Grand Café. It was 225 seats, and it was the hit of the town. It was the right moment, the right time, everything was perfect. When it opened, I looked at myself, I said, I can do interior design, I can do graphics, I can do uniforms, I can do lighting, I can do all the stuff that I like to do. Says, maybe if I call myself a restaurant designer, that will make me Italian. That will make me do all the things that I love to do in one definition. And what I'm telling you, Paolo, is the birth of the profession. I'm the first person in this country that call themselves a restaurant designer by default, by the fact that, I found myself, and on we went, this is a true story.
Very funny.
Like all good things in life, things happen by coincidence, as you.
Yeah. So, Alessia, one question for you. Designing how to cook, but with extra ingredients. Can you make customer eat and digest dishes that are excellent according to you, and even if they seems do not approach them?
I like this question. As you know, I'm from the north of Italy, right? Which obviously we tend to cook in a very simple way. At least now these days is how I describe like the way I eat, because everything in America is a bit different. Even Italian food is a bit different here. So when you cook, as long as you have good ingredients, right? When you are in Italy, you have good ingredients. You don't need much. Like even the most complicated dishes, still you use some olive oil, good ingredients, maybe some sauté garlic and scallion, but not much more. So if you cook this way in here, well, I don't know if like people will love my cuisine, let's say. So I think actually the comparison with food is great, because I really learned and understood that you need still to have the good ingredients. Otherwise, you can just fake it and make it everything like appearing or taste it good when it's not. But then you always need to understand who is your customer. Because if I cook for an American and I cook the way I would cook for an Italian in Italy, he would probably not appreciate. So I need to kind of tweak it a little bit, add a bit of character, understand what he likes, and mix it in without making like the dish keep it authentic. Keeping like the dish with the key ingredients, the key elements, and then add some detail into it, tailored to my customer. I want him to like it, right? Still, it's my recipe, it's my taste, it's my idea, it is my vision, but he has to like it. Otherwise, why is coming to me? If I have to like it, and he's not gonna like it, there is no point. So I think yes, it's like a matter of design and cooking is a matter of who are you cooking for? And again, and this, we're talking about American, but if you cook for in another country, or if you design in another country, you always need to tweak your receipt a little bit to make sure that they enjoy it and they will come back. So I think you can.
I want to know what is if you have your special ingredients.
Well, I think as cooking, passion and love, that's the key ingredients, and definitely attention to the detail. And I think that's is what you really need. I mean, being like original, being always surprising. I think leaving the wow effect, surprising. You maybe look at something and you taste a bit differently, and design or cook something that you remember. So the experience that goes with it is very important. The visual, obviously, in both cases is very important, but all the detail connected to it, right? The smell, the sounds,
It's also for Adam, this kind of emotional approach of the ingredients.
That's, again, a very loaded question, my friend Paolo. You like those things, provocative. Listen, we all are passionate about what we do. And food, as I told you, I started with restaurants. I didn't know anything about food at the time. And I ended up owning restaurants myself for 25 years, I owned 4 Italian restaurants called Reni. They were not just Italian, they were Venetian. With a partner who was a chef and still my best friend, after 25 years of not having one fight. But so I was also the ambassador of Venetian food to America. We started it here, then we went to Tel Aviv, we went to Mexico City. So it became our life passion. And secret ingredient that you're asking for, again, I think Alessia put it right. It's knowing your customer. That's your secret. If you know your customer, the secret ingredient comes to the surface by itself. You cannot give pepper to somebody that doesn't like spicy food.
Of course.
If you know what I mean. But you have to understand that they don't like spicy. And it's the same with design. I mean, key is know your customer. First lesson, when I teach in School of Visual Arts or Pratt or whatever, I said first thing is first, know your customer. The only way you know where to get to is to know where you're coming from, respect that, and then focus on your customer. Once you understand what they want, the secret ingredient comes by itself.
I want to jump now in a case history in 2003. So the Alf Hotel in Rome represented a small revolution in the world of interior of design in hospitality. Are you ready, or do you have another revolution in your minds for the future?
Listen, Paolo, throughout our long career, we try to be trend setters instead of trend followers. I assume this statement is true for every designer. Your dream is that you're going to set the trend. But from the start, specializing in restaurant design was setting a trend in a way, because that's what started this whole business in this country. But the work we did in Las Vegas through the years, like with Spago, which was the first celebrity chef restaurant in Las Vegas, Oriole with the wine tower, was a complete set. I think that the work we did with Sirio Macchioni of Le Cirque around the world, especially with Le Cirque 2000, that became a design symbol. The work that Alessia did at the Four Seasons DIFC in Dubai, which became an instant hit, being a 100-room hotel in Dubai. Do you know what it takes to make people notice a 100-room hotel in Dubai?
I visited.
So, it takes genius. Here she is, right with you. She can talk about it.
Yeah.
I think the most recently, one of the things we've done, which is also trend setting for sure, and I think you're going to get into it a little bit later on, is the work we did for the Costa Smeralda, the cruise ship, and creating the first ever Italian design museum on a cruise ship, Code. I mean, that must be one of the the history's greatest trendsetters, at least as far as being modest, very modest about this. So for the future, we need to keep changing and advancing the design world. I mean, this is our DNA. I mean, this is what we were brought to this planet to do, I think. And Alessia, please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, you're in the same shoe here.
Of course, we're on the same sheep and soup. I mean, no, but I obviously share Adam's thoughts, and has been my school, and that's what I learned actually from him very well. That you need to be always ahead of the curve. We want to be relevant. We just not because of our ego, but because we want to do something that people enjoy and is different than what you see. And these days is not easy because you have a lot. So I think our approach is always how we can make this project special and different, and that's why we always start with a story. I mean, you mentioned Aleph in Rome, which has been like definitely like something different at the time, but the design came up that strong because there was a strong story behind, and that's what we're trying to do in every project. Always try to see how we can create something that is interesting and exciting. And yes, we have something, I think, on the cook. We'll see if will come alive, hopefully. So I think in every project we try to do something special, and we will have something like opening next year that will be hopefully something new again and different, and people will like it, enjoy, and something we are working on it that we think can be one of these new things not seen yet. So
in an interview, I think Adam say about the first time when he arrived in New York, where all the streets were completely covered in gold. So, and this means like a character of rich properties or other elements that can represent the kind of interior or inspire your luxury and any kind of inspiration for your project. Is it?
Well, I think that the expression "the streets are covered with gold" was, more, about opportunity than actual gold. Because there's another expression that says that not everything that glitters is gold. So my first impression of New York. And this is not America, I'm talking about New York. And we all know that New York has nothing to do with America. It's a special island with a couple of bridges and stuff. But when I got there, I was like so excited about the scale, the people, the movement, the energy. You felt that the opportunity was here, that you can, in the famous words of the almighty Frank Sinatra, if you make it here, you'll make it anywhere. I mean, the competition was tough. Everything was like so exciting that to me, it seemed like everything is possible. And that's where the gold came about. But if the metaphor is luxury, which it sounds like it's also something you wanted to mention, we focus on luxury hospitality interiors. And the reason we do that, it's not because we like the gold. Yes, luxurious interiors, let's say, have bigger budgets, have more opportunity to do things bespoke and special, and that give us our métier, our feeling for materials and stuff. We can explore more and so on and so forth. But the reason we are focused on luxury interiors is because I think for me it's because we are very few. We don't have many people. We are a small studio of 15 people, and the reason for it is that we want to be involved, Alessia and I, in every detail of the design. We don't want to just manage people and have hundreds of people doing big projects.
Yeah, hundreds of years.
So we are like sort of a, custom tailor kind of operation. We fix every detail by hand, we review, we like to touch and feel every project and every detail. And when it comes to that type of attitude, you have to pick and choose your projects. You can't do everything because we don't have the manpower to do everything. We don't want to have the manpower to do everything. We want great designers, very specialized, very skillful, and hands-on. So, it's us. You're looking at the two of us. One is making the food and the other one is serving. This is how it is.
I see. So you Adam, mentioned the bespoke. So it's a very it's a very nice word. What is your opinion about it?
Well, again, if you want to be special and you want to make things that are original and different, you need to have the tools to do so, and bespoke is one of them. Is the ability to design to measure, is to take the measurement of your client and design a suit that fits. And the details, which Alessia does with her staff and the things, for us, that the bespokeness of the profession is an opportunity to be special and to be different. It's not necessarily a statement of elite or whatever. It's not like we don't want to do products or design that most people enjoy. On the contrary, our public spaces are designed for people to enjoy, of all kinds of people. What makes it unique is our ability to do bespoke. It's to do things that you haven't seen before. Not just the creation, but the combinations, the ideas, the lighting, everything that goes with the theater of the hospitality. The more bespoke it is, the more unusual it is. People look at it and say, wow, I've never seen this before. So for us, it's a tool to express ourselves more than a statement of luxury, if you understand my meaning.
Yeah, of course. So let me say that today we serve a bespoke ICED Macchiatos with two special ingredients, Adam and Alessia. So I felt very tasty this coffee today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And thank you for having us. I
Thank
hope
you, Paolo.
we can actually do this in person with a real macchiato.
Of course.
I have my way to do the ice macchiato. It's like very particular, bespoke, and so
I have my mug. So
the ice coffee and ice macchiato, like we have a different way of doing it in Italy than in New York. And it, like, the shakerato, for example, it doesn't exist here. You need to see me when I try to go in a place and I try to order, and I tell them step by step what I have to do. Every time I'm like, okay, I should don't force them to.
Paolo, Alessia is not allowed to go into any Starbucks because they will arrest her immediately.
So, thank you so much for this kind of original ICED Macchiatos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paolo.
Thank you.